we cannot say they did not change any vote tallies or anything of that sort.
Yeah, I'm just talking.
We have no way of gauging the impact that certainly the intelligence community can't gauge the impact it had on choices the electorate made. There's no way for us to gauge that.
Here now with reaction from the Washington Times, Fox News contributor Charlie Hurt, filmmaker Dinesh D'Souza. Can either one of you give me any evidence at all? Because the National Director of Intelligence is saying it. DHS assesses that the types of systems Russian actors targeted or compromised were not involved in vote tallying. They didn't impact any machine. Is there any evidence the Russians had any impact on this election? Dinesh?
There's absolutely no evidence at all. But I actually want to just go with Mook's idea because I want to translate what he's actually saying. What he's actually saying is that the Russians are sort of like cops who broke into a car. And in the car were illegal drugs, Hillary's emails. Those drugs were then exposed to the jury, and the jury said guilty. The jury here is the American people. So the American people decided the election based on information allegedly provided by the Russians. Right. And what the left is basically saying is illegal search and seizure.
But has anyone proven the Russians were the hackers?
Absolutely not.
Nobody.
None. There's no evidence.
There's no evidence at all. And I think this is the point. Well, number one, Charlie, Obama did spend taxpayer dollars, did send campaign operatives to defeat Prime Minister Netanyahu.
Oh,
that's
absolutely.
a fact. Now, I thought we're not supposed to have outside influence of elections, but it's okay if Obama does it. Number two, Hillary had an email server in a bathroom closet, and Podesta's an idiot that fell for a phishing scheme. Tell me where the connection to the Russians are. When are we going to get that evidence? Because the media repeatedly.
Yeah, no, there's absolutely no evidence whatsoever. And what's really shocking, if you go back and you listen to that, the structure of the sentences of what Robbie Mook said right there. Robbie Mook, who, by the way, is like the biggest boob in Democratic politics today. Democrats hate this guy. How he lost this election, most Democrats are scratching their heads thinking, what is wrong with this guy?
He had a horrible candidate and he ran a horrible campaign.
Absolutely, and failed to go out there and campaign in key states. But if you listen to what he said, it's not important whether the Russians actually did it or not. It's all that's important is whether they could have. What's interesting about that statement is that he doesn't even believe that there's any evidence because he doesn't want to talk about that. He just wants to talk about could have.
Yeah.
I think the real value of this is that Mook has to put out something that the left can hold on to say that Trump is illegitimate. They tried everything else. Hillary won the popular vote. Let's go convince the electors to vote. And all that failed. So the only shred they hang on to now is the sort of idea that somehow it could have been rigged. The Russians could have played an illegitimate role.
This is important, though, for our audience to know. No evidence that Russians impacted the election in any way. No evidence that WikiLeaks got it from the Russians. Believe Julian Assange or not, he told me no. And in 10 years, WikiLeaks has never been proven wrong.
And the really sad thing here is that while Mook and all of these other people are casting about these wild aspersions and accusations, they're not doing the hard work that they should be doing, which is figuring out what is wrong with their candidates, what's wrong with their party, what's wrong with their message, what's wrong with their policies.
Listen,
that are not able to win any elections.
You know what they fear the most? That Donald Trump is going to be successful. That's the greatest fear. But I got to let you both go. Good to see you both.
Thanks,
and
Sean.
Your movie did great, by the way. Congratulations.
Thank you.